Writing a book takes more than just having a good idea, and it takes more than just discipline. You can possess extensive experience and knowledge in your industry and still know nothing about the publishing industry. No one should expect you to know how to write a book and how to publish a book. It's not like it's magical. There are people who have spent years and years in publishing and now they know. So let's talk about the obstacles. Most of the obstacles that get in the way of authors, especially first time authors, fall into three categories: mind, craft, world. I know that sounds like a video game. It wasn't meant to. Okay, let's take a look at each one. The first one is mind. And now we're talking about you, what's going on inside of you. A book asks a lot of a person. You need a strong enough reason to keep coming back to the work. You have to feel confident about it. Well, you don't have to feel confident about it, but it helps. So one thing that I often do is help my clients boost confidence. A lot of people, they feel like an imposter when they start writing the book, and that can be a real difficult obstacle to get over. You do need resilience more than you need to feel excited about the idea, because trust me, the excitement can wear off. And so having resilience and momentum are what will come in to help you keep writing when you get in that really heavy middle part where it's not like, oh, this idea is so exciting. It's now like, oh my gosh, I want to get this out of me. The mind trials show up in so many ways. And what I see authors do when the mind trials come up is they get frustrated and quit. They keep changing their idea, their book idea, the book concept. They stop writing, or they start doing more and more research thinking that that's going to be the solution. Sometimes they soften their point because they're afraid of criticism. These are all things that happen in the mind trials. Writing a book requires you to stay connected to why it matters, what this book is going to make possible for you and for the readers. It requires self-trust, not blind confidence, not the belief that everything you write will be brilliant. It requires self-trust that allows you to make decisions, that allows you to stay resilient. Writing a book is not always comfortable, but that's because you are doing work that matters. Okay, next, let's look at the craft trials. Knowing your subject and having the confidence is very different than knowing how to write and publish a book, knowing that technical side of it. You may be a physician, a therapist, a leader, an advocate. You may know your industry deeply, but writing a reader-focused book and entering into the publishing world, that's a whole other matter. There will be decisions required of you where you're going to say, do I have the right information to make a good decision here? You need to figure out what belongs in the book, what doesn't. You need to figure out the structure of the book. You need to figure out the best publishing path for yourself. The book needs editing. The book needs several layers of editing. There's so much going on that is brand new to you. And even after the book's published, there's distribution, there's marketing, there's visibility. There's so much to know about the publishing world, and you cannot be expected to know it all. That's what we call craft, and it often gets in the way of authors, especially new authors, but also return authors. The third area where we find obstacles really get in the way are what we call the world trials. These are your kids, the car that breaks down, your boss that wants overtime, your dog that needs walking, your parent who hasn't seen you or talked to you in 2 weeks, everything else that's going on, because writing a book does not exist in isolation. I've only ever had one client who took a vacation and wrote a book. Only once. Everyone else was dealing with everything else that was going on in their life. Time is a limited resource, and you need time to write a book. And here's the thing. A lot of people say, you need a lot of time. Yes, you need a lot of time, but not endless time. But what you really need is protected time. Time where you can sit down and focus, where this thing is not going to be going off every 5 seconds, where somebody is not going to be knocking on your office door constantly, where notifications aren't going to be popping up. What you need to actually write a book is protected time, focused time, where you can get into it and stay in it and build the momentum to get several words, several thousand words written at one go. So you need time, but you also need mental energy. Sometimes I have authors who say, I'll write in the evening. Yeah, you'll write in the evening after you've been through a whole day at work with the kids, taken them to soccer, brought them back, made dinner, got their baths, made sure their homework was done, helped your spouse with something, walked the dog, and then you sit down to write the book. And what do? You pass out. You're exhausted. So you need the mental energy to write a book. You need the time, you need the mental energy, and you need the resources, financial resources. And that can be a big thing for authors. Often we have authors like just put aside a little bit every, just start creating a budget for their book, because what often happens is authors get to a certain place and all of a sudden they need money, but they have not been putting aside, or they haven't budgeted it in. So world trials. Those are all the other things that you don't control, not that we control much in life, that get in the way because life keeps happening. Your book matters. So what does it really take? It takes you. I explore this more deeply in a workshop called What Will It Take to Write Your Book? So if you'd like to know what it would take to write your book before you jump in, grab that link below, because we're going to take an honest look at what it takes and what's likely to get in your way, so you're prepared when you decide to say yes to a project. As I said, the link is below, but before you go, I have a question. What's your biggest obstacle? Is it a mind trial, a craft trial, or a world trial? Leave me a comment.